Want to hear about my first mushroom experience? This is for educational purposes only. I had some photos from that day and I created some photos to kind of show what I was seeing and experiencing, so I hope this helps. But the place itself was just beautiful. So we started walking up a trail and we came across this building, and it was by the time we got to that building that I saw things waving. And I was actually on the phone with my brother and I remember saying to him, I gotta go now, things are moving. And I became so aware of colors and everything just became so much brighter. The grass was greener, the sky was bluer, and every tree kind of looked like slithering snakeskin. And then everything we saw became just so magnificent. We were walking and we saw these bug things on a branch, and then they started moving and it looked so magical in the moment. And I captured it. Found a spot around some rocks and water, and we all just laid across these rocks looking up at the sky. So I'm looking up and it just looks like a normal sky. And at this point, everything is still somewhat normal, but then it shifts. And then as I'm looking up at the sky, it looks almost as though geometric shapes are forming out of the sky and they're like pulsating and breathing towards me. And this was a profound message that I got. And I remember this was the only thing I verbalized to the people I was with while we were there. I remember saying, like, nothing matters. Gravity doesn't matter. The things we do don't matter. But whatever this is, this breathing motion that everything was in, that these shapes were coming from the sky, and whatever that is, always has been and always will be. And this was also a couple months after my dad died. So for some reason, that knowing of whatever this was, I still don't know what this is. But it gave me such peace and like acceptance in his death and a sense of comfort that I've never felt before. But then I sit up and I look out in the field and I notice something. And I saw a figure that is best described as this thing from Grateful Dead, this skull lady. I swear it really looked like her. And I just remember looking at her in the distance in complete awe. And like she was there, she was wrapped all up in the trees, and she was just so majestic. And this is how she was moving. She would just like bend her head a little, and like the trees would embrace her. It was very feminine and soft and beautiful. And I just looked at her like, damn. And I remember at one point being like, I would just love to bow to her. Like that's how much I was in awe of her. And then I looked over, and the best that I could describe it was someone that looked like Phil, but he didn't have an attitude or anything. He was there kind of like guarding her, just kind of off in the distance. And I was looking at him like, what's that little guy doing there? And then after realizing we'd been laying there for I don't know how many hours, we got up and we found this house with more crazy bugs. And my filming here is awful because I was on mushrooms. But we found this house, this property, and I was fearless. Like I was determined to get in this abandoned building, fearless. And also as we were running, I became aware that I could run forever. And